Welcome to Praying Through the Bible, number 68, Judges 1, a prayer against iron chariots. All's well that ends well, but not all's well that begins well. Judges 1 begins by mentioning Joshua's death, a man whose record is one of many triumphs. 31 kings defeated, according to Joshua chapter 12, verses 9 through 24. His last speech is renowned and is on many refrigerators. As for me and my house, we will worship Yahweh, or we will serve the Lord. After his death, the Israelites did what Joshua, Moses, and later David would do. And that is, they inquired of the Lord. This new inquiry begins a new book, and it begins well. Who will be the first to fight for us against the Canaanites? Judges 1, verse 1. Judah, the tribe of the future Messiah, is God's choice. Beginning with prayer is always a positive beginning, and success follows. Adonai-Bezek, who defeated 70 kings, that's more than twice that of Joshua, and ignominiously cut off their thumbs and big toes, is defeated. I wonder if we are told this because God delivers to him lex talionis justice, and the defeated king declares the divine retribution. 70 kings with their thumbs and toes cut off used to pick up scraps under my table. God has repaid me for what I have done. More victories follow. But God will repay Israel for what they do and don't do. Then there is this strange verse causing consternation for the reader. The Lord was with Judah and enabled them to take possession of the hill country. But they could not drive out the people who were living in the valley because those people had iron chariots. Iron chariots has become a catchphrase for skeptics to mock theism. What? Can't your omnipotent God defeat a little iron chariot? After this failure, the Benjamites did not drive out the Jebusites. Manasseh failed. Ephraim failed. Zebulun failed. Asher failed. This repetition reminds me of Genesis 5. Then he died. The failures continue. Naphtali did not drive out the residents of Beth-Shemesh. And humiliatingly, the Amorites forced the Danites into the hill country and did not allow them to go down to the valley. This is the promised land. Such failure will be like a burglar kicking you out of your own house and not letting you in. After these failures began, all these failures began with Judah's failure due to iron chariots. During the victories, God was with them. Immediately before this failure, the Lord was with them. Something changed, and that something is symbolized by the iron chariots. After these failures, Judges 2 begins with the angel of the Lord reminding Israel and rebuking them. You are not to make a covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You are to tear down their altars, but you have not obeyed me. What is this you have done? Therefore, I now say, I will not drive out these people before you. There will be thorns in your sides. This wording reminds me of Paul's thorn in the flesh. What had Israel done? What had Israel not done? Israel disobeyed by making covenants and not tearing down altars, apparently. Most likely, they feared the iron chariots. The iron chariots are now the giants their ancestors compared themselves to, resulting in disobedience and wandering for 40 years. Fear overcame faith. As with Adonai-Bezek, God repaid them. Israel needed to pray about the iron chariots. They began well, but all's well only ends well when we pray well through the end. What is our prayer challenge? Beginning with prayer is not enough. Fear can destroy faith. Failure is contagious. Begin with prayer. Continue to pray and remain faithful when iron chariots cause fear and doubt. What are our iron chariots? Start praying. This has been Praying Through the Bible, number 68, Judges 1, a prayer against iron chariots. This has been a blessing to you. Please subscribe. Please share onto your Facebook page and other places. And thank you so very much for praying for me.